a growing number of charities face what looks like an impossible choice during this crisis. Do they stop offering support to those who desperately need it in order to protect their finances, or carry on working, perhaps even step it up and risk going bust as donations dry up and fundraising events have to be cancelled? They want government help to stay afloat. Let's talk to two chief executives of major charities. Barnardo's CEO is Javed Khan, and Kate Collins is CEO of the Teenage Cancer Trust. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Let's just hear from both of you, if we could, what this crisis means to your charity in its finest. Is Mr. Khan, first of all?
Well, good morning. I've been a chief executive of two significant charities over the last 10 years, been at Barnardo's for the last 6 years, and all things considered over the last 2 or 3 weeks, the way we've been handling things, I think this pandemic is a critical threat to the survival for many, many charities. We're expecting over £4 billion of a loss across the sector in the next 12 weeks. This is very, very significant. And remember, charities are the organizations that provide the glue that hold communities together. They're built on trust with local people. And at the best of times, they bring out the very best in people. And at the worst of times, the most difficult times, they hold the communities together.
But tell us, in the case of Barnardo's, if you will, rather than the general figure, in the case of Barnardo's, what's it doing to your income on the one hand and the demand that you face on the other?
So Barnardo's usually generates about £25 million a month, and already our estimates show that has dropped by about £8 million. So that's a third of our income wiped away literally overnight. We've closed our retail stores, we've closed most of our buildings, but not closed our doors. Over 1,000 services are provided across the UK, and we're trying our best to continue to deliver those in some shape or form. People are working from home. We've got about 600 to 700 staff that are still delivering frontline face-to-face services as safe as possible.
Let's turn to Kate Collins of the Teenage Cancer Trust. Similar question to you, Kate. What is happening to the money that you're getting in and, on the other hand, the demand that you're facing?
So the demand that we're facing is increasing. Young people, as they face cancer, face incredible isolation anyway. That has only got much, much higher as a result of coronavirus, where people with cancer are at particular additional risk if they get the virus. We've seen a huge need for our support and our information services to young people. And at the same time, the Teenage Cancer Trust nurses and youth workers in units across the UK are trying to meet that need, as well as being part of the NHS Trust's response to this national crisis. So there's a huge amount of demand, and Teenage Cancer Trust concurrently with that. Last week should have been our flagship week of fundraising events at the Royal Albert Hall. We would have had 7 nights of comedy and music, and that was actually a key part of our fundraising this year and was on course to raise over £1 million.
Now, I see that, Kate, the Charity Commissioner saying that charities can use their reserves at a time like this. Is it possible, with a bit of help from the banks, drawing on reserves, with a bit of financial planning, to say this is dreadful, but it will be over by next year, and that you can get through? Or do you need something else?
I think what charities need, some charities have more reserves than others, and for some charities this is a case of weeks, not months. And I think we all know that this is a crisis that's going to require charities not just now, but more than ever when we get through this. So some charities have got reserves, some charities will be able to make use of the furlough scheme that the government has put into place, but you can't mothball the need that a charity exists to meet, and that's why there are calls across the sector so that charities can do what's needed across their communities, on the government to really think about how best to support charities to be part of this national response so we can support the people who need us.
That, Javed Khan, is what makes you different from a business, isn't it? You can't furlough staff who are supposed to be actually doing the work still.
Well, exactly right. It makes no sense. And even in Barnardo's, from our 8,000 staff, we are furloughing about 3,000 of them. But we are topping up to maintain their 100% income because we need these people. These are the very people that we're going to need when we come out the other end of this crisis. And without them, we won't be able to deliver our services. But in terms of government, I would add that we feel like the poor relation at the moment. We've heard some very warm words from the Prime Minister at PMQs just a few days ago that something is coming out soon for charities. We haven't seen anything yet. I'd go a bit further. I think we need the government to deploy some hard and soft power to help charities get through this. I think we would welcome automatically deferring all PAYE and national insurance for 3 months. We can apply for it, but it's not guaranteed at the moment. Government should make gift aid a priority payment. There should not be a time lag that we have to suffer. And there should be a clear message to commissioners about honouring commitments to the voluntary sector and pay us quickly, because otherwise we just won't survive.
Javed Khan, Chief Executive of Barnardo's, Kate Collins of the Teenage Cancer Trust, thank you very much indeed.